Hey everybody, welcome back. Jabba the Griffin here with what could possibly be my last narration of the CALLOUS Invitational 4 tournament. If I don't catch another live one, maybe with CALLOUS near the end, it's been a pleasure to bring these matches to you. Today we have a very deep run. I believe this is final 8 total. Top 4 winners bracket. Hclat, as his buddies call him, versus Undisputed, both having a very good run this tournament, obviously, to still be in the winners bracket. But they're squaring off final four, the winners bracket, and it should be a hell of a series considering how well these guys have been playing. So let's just hop into this one and see what happens. We got the T-Tar lead set up. Usually you're looking at one of these having brick break. That's what we've been seeing a lot these days. That one does not. It didn't look like a CB damage, as far as I can tell, off the top of my head. But me and CALLOUS have proven this tournament, if anything, we just don't understand calcs, and we can't do them off the top of our head. Hclat gets the Moltres in on the Undisputed. On Undisputed's Fortress. It looked like it had a good matchup. Obviously, the Blissy's going to sit on it. It's going to get the burn off and then switch out. And so we'll see what he goes to here. He goes right into Celebi, which usually in these types of games, if Celebi is your immediate switch into Blissey, typically that indicates we might be looking at a long one. I expect to see maybe a lead sheet come out, and then obviously Undisputed just goes right into the Fortress, which can spin it off. He might take the turn here to seed anyway, or spike anyway. We'll see if that has HP Fire or anything. It doesn't, but Hclat has the Magneton in the back, and Undisputed with a lovely double. He had, that was a great double actually. I just want to take a pause right here. Give props to Undisputed, because seemingly the play there is to just spin or to set up another layer. He had thrown an initial layer up earlier, and Hclat went to Moltres. Here, there's really no harm in just theoretically in dropping another layer or spinning if you really don't want this seed, but usually layer there. But by taking this play, doubling the Blissey, catches the Magneton on Hclat and gets to keep his Fortress up. We'll obviously see if that matters, if that's something he can stave off for a while. As we saw in some earlier games, I think Asta versus, was it Gorgie? Where it was just a non-stop, almost, little meta war that they faced to make sure that Asta's Skarmory wasn't caught by the Magneton. We'll see if Undisputed plays a similar game here. They're both packing a Moltres, which has seen a bit of play this tournament. Moltres is fun. I think it's the shittier little brother to Zapdos, but it's been doing all right. So Hclat gets the Blissey on now. He definitely wants to get some layers of his own up, I think, or else Undisputed win the war of attrition. And he does, and we'll see if Hclat is packing that Gengar in the back, and we'll see if in the same vein Undisputed just checks with a switch to Swampert. He doesn't. He just spins. With just the one layer up. There's really no harm. You don't need to immediately do a Gengar check. And as we see, Hclat doesn't have a spinner. So he really needs to catch that Fortress. Or else he's going to be in a world of hurt. There's also a world in where Undisputed, just throws up a second layer, calls it a day. What's he hitting? He's hitting 4 things total. Yeah. That's another possibility. Something I might consider. You definitely don't want that to happen, though, if the layer's also on your side. I think eventually, Hclat is probably in a good position there. I'm surprised Hclat hasn't chased the Magneton yet. It doesn't look like Undisputed has a huge punish for. Well, he does actually. If Undisputed doubles to Moltres on any potential Magneton switch, then we're looking at a world which Hclat, his only switch in to the Moltres is the Moltres. Uh, that's how Thanos destroyed the rings. But right now, a lot of nothing going on. Hopefully, that doesn't mean we're looking at a really long one, but I don't think so. I think we're just waiting for the breakthrough, and I think that's going to be either. This is actually really good for Undisputed having the Gengar. I think Hclat is a tad Gengar weak, maybe not to this specific set, depending on what he's packing in the back. Besides the Wisp, which we see come down on the Celebi, which gets the seed in on the T-Tar. And we'll see. No, we still haven't seen a single move from T-Tar. Clearly, you can probably assume it's not break unless it is, and you just didn't want to chase a potential world in which Hclat also had a break T-Tar. Oh, that flamethrower burn is huge. Now that just kind of puts a lifespan on the T-Tar as a Moltres switch in. It already has a bit of a built-in. We've seen lefties, yeah, okay. So that wasn't CB damage. Kind of, it already does, with the spikes, the layer spikes up that's never getting spun, and the flamethrower doing about 22. The T-Tar already has a built-in lifespan. Just like everything Hclat has a built-in lifespan against the Moltres, and Undisputed is using every opportunity he can to switch it in. There's really no downside to him just coming in and throwing out a flamethrower every few turns, and really he can just push that advantage. We'll see right here if he just wants to go for the kill here. With the rolls, it's been 32, I think, twice. That'll push him into range. But Undisputed doesn't really want to take that risk. I guess if he gets crit, he's living in a world where maybe it's not safe to switch into Celebi anymore. So he just wants to kind of keep up Moltres' HP as much as he can so that it has the longevity, because he knows from his perspective, Hclat doesn't really have anything he can do. And every time from this point forward, pretty much every single time that Undisputed is able to get the Moltres in, he will secure a kill, assuming it's HP grass. I don't think I've seen one in a while that actually was an HP grass. Funnily enough, every single time Fortress has been in recently, it's spun, and Hclat hasn't went Magneton a single time. And now we're at the point where it's actually dangerous to go Magneton, because the second you do, and you secure that kill, assuming you even have HP Fire, which isn't 100% given, but assuming you do, you get that kill, and then Moltres just comes in and gets a kill of its own. And with the layer up, and you're not really going to get Skarmory in anytime soon if Undisputed plays his cards right, you're just looking at a kind of a roll from that point. And, from my perspective, I'm not really seeing a way where Hclat can bring this one back. I think this is just going to be Moltres eventually wearing down all of Hclat's team until the game's over. No need to go Moltres here on the seed. You can just go safely into Fortress again, or Blissey if you want, I guess. It doesn't really matter what you let take the seed. Because if you were that concerned about the HP of Moltres earlier, you're just not going to let it take free seeds. I wonder if Undisputed ever just doubles. Maybe this is a good turn for Moltres. Maybe there's gonna be a lot of good turns for Moltres, and he does do that now. Gotta calc that HP grass. assuming that has investment, which I think it does. It should kill. So, assume he's going to chase the HB grass. He does, which kills the T-Tar. And now Hclat has to go to his Moltres because he's got nothing else. We're almost at the point where you can stay in. You know, what's the worst that can happen? Yeah, if that crits, you're down to 40. I think you're fine from 40. So, yeah, I think this is the point where Undisputed just takes it. You know? So we saw this one coming from a while back, and it kind of played out the exact way we expected, and Undisputed was able to take that pretty easily. Somewhat similar yet different teams, and one team could handle the Moltres and the other one couldn't. So good on Undisputed to press the advantage and win a game that he should have won from the get-go. I think this is one of those games that was, unfortunately for the viewers, unfortunately for me, the narrator, one of those games that was just kind of won from the team selection screen. You hate to see it, but we got 2 more games. This is why this is a best of 3. Not every game is going to be an insane back and forth. Some games are just going to be a downhill roll. Sometimes you take some risks with your team building and it just doesn't work out. Or you're weak to Moltres. That's a hard one to kind of predict. But anyway, let's get in the game 2, and hopefully we'll be looking at a match that is a bit more even in the team building side, so we can kind of see these players show the kind of play that got them to this point.